All right. I think in some ways a unique night with, it was an incredible crowd. I thought we have so much respect for this program, and I couldn't have more respect for Coach Williams and what I do. To come in here and perform well, I just was really pleased with our team and our players. And we certainly wish North Carolina well. I told Roy after the game, I'm hoping that Bacot is fine. The big kid is a terrific young player, and we're optimistic that he's going to be fine here. Proud of our guys. I thought we weathered some times where we didn't perform particularly well, really on the end of turnovers, and we got to get better at that. And we got to move forward quickly here with this outstanding team on Saturday in Penn State.
What was your feeling like at halftime? Given it seemed like you were outplaying them for stretches, but like you mentioned, turnovers are obviously an issue.
Yeah.
What was your feeling at halftime? Did you like overall how you were playing minus the turnovers?
Probably that'd be probably a good way to characterize how I felt. I felt like we were kind of had the game where we wanted it in terms of our defensive attention to detail, and I thought offensively we just had to get better. Dwayne bailed us out a little bit in the first 6 minutes, and we got a little impatient at times. But I thought our turnovers that was the biggest hang up for me.
Chris, what was the plan defensively? I guess seems like you guys made them settle for a lot of jump shots. Really nothing at all in the paint, or not very much in the paint.
Yeah, we've tried to, kind of game plan a little bit on how we're defending stuff. They run a lot of good stuff and a lot of motion. They really try to get you moving. Obviously, Anthony was the biggest point of emphasis, and his ability to get in the lane and create his own offense. So we tried to put two to the ball a lot with him, and then make the other guys kind of play over top of us. And as I've said, we have good individual defenders, and sometimes we can put multiple really good individual defenders out there, and collectively, if we can play together, it gives us a chance to really be a good defensive team.
When you play that way defensively in a game where Luther's a little limited by foul trouble, do you learn maybe any more about the collective defensive identity of the team?
Yeah. I think CJ gives us now a bit of a luxury with Luther because they're different. They're different in how they play. CJ, we talked about the kid from Kent State that kind of bothered him a little bit where we had to move Dre on him. But there's usually between the three of those guys, we can put some other guys that may not be as far along defensively on the perimeter, and that was the case tonight.
What is the thing you like best defensively about what you guys obviously do a lot of things well, but is there something in particular that really stands out to you that's...
Without having a tremendous amount of shot blocking, I think we're protecting the rim right now and affecting 2-point field goal percentage, which has been really good for us. I'd say that's number one. We didn't finish enough plays tonight on the glass. That would be the thing would probably be the biggest hang up right now, our defensive rebound.
Chris, you mentioned the 10 turnovers in the first half. What was the key in limiting those in the second half?
I think we settled down a little bit. We tried to move them a little bit more than what we did, and to be honest with you, I felt like they, in the first half, particularly in that stretch, when it was a 1 or 2 possession game, they really fed off of the energy of the crowd, and I didn't feel that as much in the second half when we started to get up 8, up 9, up 10, up 11. And that's probably part of just having a young team. But when we were able to create a little bit of distance, I felt like when it was a one possession game, I just thought their energy and activity was different.
You mentioned Dwayne helping you out, or bailing you out a little bit in the first half.
Yeah.
Early shots. EJ came in, gave you some buckets.
Yeah.
Where is he as far as being a guy that can come in and do that for you in a road environment like this and help settle the offense a little bit?
He's getting there, I think. He's really getting there, and we've got to try to put him in positions where he can impact the game offensively, and I think he blocked a couple shots tonight, which was good. He's got to continue to get fitter and better defensively, but he knows that he can come in and impact the game offensively. He's got a confidence about him, and we didn't really have that last year when we went to our bench, right? We struggled at times offensively without the one guy in there and hopefully we got to keep building that ability to play well offensively and defensively when Caleb's out.
Based on what you saw him do in the Bahamas, how much did this game change when Bacot went down?
Tremendously. Yeah, if I'm just being honest, I mean, tremendously. He's a fantastic player. He's so much a part of what they do. On the glass, in the post, their size. And, Roy typically has, 4 or 5 bigs, and I think they're a little bit thinner this year. No, it was a tremendous difference.
You talked yesterday, you were talking about this being the first time that you're going to a road environment, and it seemed like at halftime you had a 2-point lead, and it seemed like it could have been worse at that point, and it also seemed like the game could have gone one of 2 ways, and obviously you ended up winning by more than 20 points. How pleased were you to see that response when it did seem like maybe it could have gone the other way?
Really pleased with the first 6 minutes of the second half. I thought that was maybe our best basketball. Was the first 6 minutes. We settled down. We made smart decisions. We attacked them in certain areas. We made them work. I thought that was probably our best 6 to 7 minute stretch of the game, and that was critical.
You guys have done a pretty good number on Villanova, Cincinnati, North Carolina defensively. If someone made the observation that you're embracing this Virginia model of just locking people down and winning games, is that a compliment? Is that something?
Well, let's pump the brakes there.
Do you sense a parallel? Do you sense a parallel that this is something you guys can sustain?
I'll be interested to see as we move forward. As I said, we got an outstanding opponent on Saturday, who's really good offensively. I'll be interested to see how this plays out, as I said, when we continue to play, similar competition over a longer stretch. I think that's the real test of your group and how committed you are on that end. But certainly we've had a good start with some teams for sure.
You mentioned yesterday that this is a big month. To start off with a win like this, especially for the young guys, how much confidence does this give you going into the rest of those challenges?
Yeah, I think it gives. They were a hungry group. I think, as I said, we've got great leadership right now. They were a hungry group, hungry to kind of come in and perform, and probably a little nervous too, first time on the road. But they were hungry to perform well.
When you're winning like the way you were winning the game at a place where they don't lose it like this, do you allow yourself as a coach like a second to appreciate the fact that the score is what it is, or are you still too dialed in on the play-by-play?
Yeah, probably the last minute, Ryan Peden said it. Hey, you might want to, take a moment to take a look at the score. I just told him, hey, let's get our guys ready for Saturday. So, it's unfortunately the life we live. We're always moving on to the next one. But having said that, Adam, I think that you really want your players to enjoy it because they're the ones that have worked. They're the ones that earned it, and they're the ones that have worked so hard to enjoy moments like this. And you want them to have some perspective, knowing we got a quick turnaround. But that was my really thing. I really want them to enjoy it.
Because you're usually pretty good about downgrading your team's successes. It seems like it's going to become increasingly harder for you to do that if you guys keep playing this way. I don't like.
That's not intentional, by the way. That's not an intentional thing. We've got really talented players, and we performed really well. I think as a coach, you always look and you say, okay, 15 turnovers, and we didn't always defensive rebound very well. And as I've mentioned before, we're still trying to figure out all across the country how good everybody is, right? And through 6 or 7 or 8 games, it's hard to really make any definitive statements on anything. They're learning and growing as a group, so are we. We've had some good stretches, but I don't want to take away from what our guys are doing. But we'll see if how do I continue to do that, I guess.
Internally, within the locker room, where are you at in terms of where this team is compared to where maybe you thought they were, disregarding where you are in the country?
Probably further along defensively. I would say probably further along defensively, and still probably about where I thought we'd be offensively. Some rough patches and some areas we got to get better in.